I'm Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, and I am the Career Elevation Expert for female middle managers seeking senior leadership positions. Today is the first installment of our employment series, Just Us Sisters Talking, and today we're going to be talking about resumes. So let's get started. So in terms of your resume, you want your visual presentation and you want your document to be organized. You want your appearance to be polished. This is your marketing tool. If you're going to be using bullets, you want the bullets to be, you want to use one bullet symbol, and you don't want to use too many because bullets should only be used to draw emphasis to whatever is on your resume. Also, in addition to visual presentation and organization, you don't want to use too many fonts. Too many fonts makes the eyes go up and down and all around, and usually recruiters and hiring managers, it comes across as being unorganized. So you want to remember to use 1 to 2 fonts and one bullet symbol in terms of visual presentation and organization. Now let's talk about the body of the resume. A lot of individuals, when I come across resumes, are old school resumes. They have what is known as an objective on the resume. You no longer need the objective because your recruiters and your hiring managers know that your objective is to get the job that you're applying for. So instead of the objective, what you want to do is use a career summary. Passive wording on your resume. You also want to your employer to be want to know what did you do for your previous or your current employer, and so that they can visualize you doing that for retail management. This individual has, and I pulled all of these resumes off of the internet. So this individuals have achieved all development milestones and profitability goals. Well, your employer-to-be want to know what those milestones were. So you want to include the numbers. You want to be specific in terms of your resume. Don't simply say you achieved all development and milestones and profitability goals because your employer-to-be does not know what that is. So you want to include your numbers. Another example on this resume is consistently negotiate favorable vendor contracts to keep costs low. Well, the person reading your resume have no idea how you kept the cost low, how much money you saved your current or your previous employer. So you want to include the numbers. You do not want to list your tasks. You want to list your success. By how much? How did you do it? Add the numbers. So that's what you want to do. You want to add the numbers. So this is why this is just a good resume and not a great resume. To give you an example of a great resume, I also pulled this off of the internet, also for a retail manager. It says, quarter number 1, made labor budget for stores first time in 2 years, $15,000 under budget. Specific, how much money that person saved their previous employer. Another bullet on this resume. Brought labor expenditures $20,000 under budget. Specific. So the employer-to-be can envision that this individual can possibly save them however amount of money if they were to employ that individual. Another reason why this is a great resume, it says won first place in a 340 store region for increased sales in pre-made foods department despite region-wide downturn. So now this individual is being specific as to how many other locations were they competing against in terms of sales. And so again, on your resume, you want to list your results, not your tasks. The number one mistake that I see that people do is they take the job description and they take everything from the job description and just put it on your resume. No, most times if someone is hiring you for a position within that industry, they know the tasks and the tasks that are associated with the position that you're applying for, or the tasks that are associated with the position that you previously had. What they want to know is, what can you do for me? What did you do for your previous employer? How did you achieve results? How did you make money, save money, or help them achieve their organizational goals? Every worker has 3 tasks throughout their day. Everything they do should either make money, save money, or help the organization achieve goals. Those are the things that you want to list on your resume. So don't forget to be specific. They want to know how you made a significant impact with your previous employer. And so that also goes to passive wording. You want to eliminate any passive words or non-action words. And you want to be careful about overusing the same word. For instance, sometimes when I'm looking at resumes, the person will say facilitated, 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 develop. Every line begins with develop, 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 facilitated, facilitated, facilitated. So you want to be careful about overusing the same word on your resume as well. Passive language, overuse of words. You want to make sure that it's visually appealing, and you want to make sure that it shows high potential on your resume. I'll give you an example of passive language. If you have something, negotiated contracts with vendors, that's an example of passive language and also language of a doer. But just if you add some more specifics, it'll give you a few more specifics. You can turn that same concept, phrase, and task into an action language of achieving. And I have an example here of what that would be. Slash payroll benefits administration costs 30% by negotiating pricing and fees while ensuring the continuation and enhancements of services. You have the what, how much, and the impact on the business. And that's what you want. You want the what, how much, and the impact on the business. Again, you want to add your numbers. You want to use action. You want achieving words. And so, again, you want to be very specific in terms of the things that you've achieved on your job. Also, in terms of your employment history, you do not have to list every job you've ever worked, ever, on your resume. You want to keep your information 10 to 15 years relevant. The only time that you would list every job is if you were applying for a senior leadership position and it was beneficial for you having worked in various industries, and you want to show how many years you've worked. But generally, for about 80% of the world, you only want to put 10 to 15 years worth of history on your resume. So keep that in mind. You want to use action words, achieving words, 10 to 15 years. You want your resume to be visually appealing, and you want your resume to be organized. Let's move on to ATS. ATS is an applicant tracking system, and about 93% of employers use this applicant tracking system. What does this system do? This is a system that employers put your resume in, and it spits out who is the best fit for the job that they're looking for. I actually put my resume in the ATS system, and you can't really see it that well, but it says raw data pulled directly from your resume. And the ATS system, this is what the ATS system says about me when I put my resume in. It said, Karen Hills Pruden appears to be concentrated in human resources, also have other exposure to bookkeeping, office management, and payroll. Karen Hills Pruden has 24 years of work experience with 20 years of management experience, including high-level positions. It has here what is called a management score. A management score is based simply on your position title and the times that you were in the position. So all of that information that you put on your resume under your position title and the times that you were in the position, ATS doesn't care anything about that. In the scoring model, it uses your title and the amount of time that you were in it. That's how the system calculated It says here, experience for me, it says 25 years, and it says management score 100 out of 100. So I did very well because I've been in several high-level positions in terms of management. And so titles do matter. So I say to you, don't ever think that the title of a position does not matter. Some people say, as long as they're paying me my money, where if you're upwardly mobile, titles of a position do matter, particularly because 93% of employers are using the ATS system, and the ATS system only accounts for the title and how long you're in the position to achieve your management score. The purpose of the ATS system actually is to weed individuals out who are not the best fit. So if you think about what I'm saying here, the purpose of the software is to weed out individuals who are not a best fit for the position that is advertised. So its job is to weed you out. So what you need to do to continue to be in the running for the job is to ensure that you have your key skills listed, not tasks, your key skills. For instance, I have a copy of my resume here that I submitted through the ATS system, and my skills are organization culture development, team leadership, team development and management, talent retention, recruitment, change management, performance management, employee relations, and succession planning. So you need to have the skills that are needed, that they're looking for, so that the ATS, the applicant tracking system, can pick that information up off of your resume. So it's very important that you have these terms highlighted on your resume, and that's why I recommend that you have a career summary section right in the beginning that summarizes your years of experience and the levels of positions that you've had, in addition to your skills. Your score will be among the highest that they're looking for if you want to determine what they're looking for in the ATS. I would take a look at the job posting. The job posting generally has about 50 to 70% of the skills that they're going to slide through on the ATS. And so you want to ensure that you have those skills in your work history and that they're noted on your resume. So when they slide through your resume and the applicant tracking system, the system will pick up those skills that the recruiter is looking for. So keep in mind, there's a management score that calculates only from position titles, and the score is based on the words in the title, not the words in the description part. And then the program will designate a best fit score based on the key skills and competencies. So what do you need on your resume? Key skills and competencies, title, and the amount of time that you've been in a position in order for the ATS to pick it up. It does not pull from the description. Your goal is to ensure that you score among the highest to be considered a best fit. After you've been through the scan, you want to score somewhere between 80 to 100%. Because again, you don't know who you're up against. So keep that in mind. That's another reason why it's very important to have your resume organized. So we've covered about 3 things. I'm going to keep these Facebook Lives fairly short. You need to show your outcomes of your efforts of working in a job. Do not list tasks and responsibilities. You only want to list achievements. You want to make sure that your resume is visually appealing, not too many bullets, not a whole bunch of different bullets, not a whole bunch of different fonts, so that you can make a strong visual impression. And then you also want to include keywords and skills on your resume so that when your resume is sent through the applicant tracking system, that it will pick up those competencies that the recruiter or the hiring manager are looking for. Again, achievements, outcomes, visually appealing, include keywords and skills, and you should be on route to having a more presentable resume. If you are an individual who know or feel uncomfortable about adjusting your resume, then my information is associated with this Facebook Live, all of my social media sites, so that you can get in contact with me. That is one of the things that I do. This is the first installment of the employment series, and next week we will be talking about how do you get ready for an interview. So you got the call, now what? You passed the paper screening, now what? What it is that you need to do in order to get ready for the interview, because it's a process and there are several things that you need to do to get ready for the interview. Again, my name is Dr. Karen Hills Pruden. I'm the career elevation expert for female middle managers seeking senior leadership positions. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. I'll see you next week. Stay tuned for the posting for the day and time where we talk about interview prep. Have a nice evening. Bye.